Welcome to the channel Cataclysms of the Planet Today. Here we talk about the most powerful natural phenomena and man-made disasters that shake the world. Earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, fires. We collect the most relevant data from open sources so that you are aware of events. Subscribe to the channel so as not to miss important updates. Be the first to know about global cataclysms and their consequences. We monitor the situation, analyze the facts, and share the latest information. Like and write in the comments what you think about what is happening in the world. Your opinion matters. Yesterday, Lexington, a small town in Nebraska, found itself in the epicenter of a real snow disaster. Snow was falling in sheets, winds reached speeds of 70 kilometers per hour, and the temperature dropped to -12. The roads were so covered that cars were stuck right in the middle of the highway. Local residents say that they have not seen anything like this for 10 years. Rescuers pulled people out of snowdrifts all night. And school buses simply could not reach their destinations. Forecasters say that this is part of a powerful cold front that will still show itself. Lexington is now like a scene from the winter apocalypse. Meanwhile, in the neighboring state, in Goodland, Kansas, nature staged its own snow spectacle. Here, the blizzard was even more violent. Gusts of wind up to 80 kilometers per hour blew away everything in their path, from billboards to tree branches. Visibility dropped to 50 meters, and the roads turned into a white desert. Local farmers are in a panic. Livestock is at risk, and some houses are left without power due to broken wires. Residents are filming videos of snow flying horizontally and sharing them on social networks. Goodland was clearly not prepared for such a turn of events. We are moving to the tropics, to Bali, Batu Bolong Beach. A place where surfers usually catch waves and tourists enjoy the sun, yesterday became the scene of a natural show. A squally wind blew in suddenly, tearing off roofs from cafes, carrying away umbrellas and even capsizing boats near the shore. The wind speed reached 60 kilometers per hour, and the waves rose 3 meters. Panicked tourists filmed their belongings flying into the sea, and surfers tried to save their boards. Local authorities closed the beach and urged everyone to stay away. It was real chaos under the palm trees. Now to Russia. Near Chelyabinsk, the Железнодорожник Gardening Association was underwater. The reason is an ice jam on the Sim River which blocked the flow, and water rushed where no one expected it. Summer cottages are knee-deep in flood. Some houses are standing in water up to their windows. Residents are trying to save furniture, taking things to higher ground, but the elements are relentless. Rescuers in boats are helping to evacuate, and locals are desperately filming videos. Water is flowing right through vegetable gardens. This is not just a flood, this is a real battle with nature. And in the neighboring city of Asha, the situation is even worse. Here, the peak of the flood is here. The Sim River has overflowed its banks due to the same ice jam. Water has flooded the private sector. The old riverbed has turned into a turbulent stream. The water level has risen by a meter. Houses are sinking, and people with children are running to higher ground. Rescuers are working around the clock, evacuating residents and their pets. The video from there is like scenes from a disaster movie. Cars are floating, fences are falling, and the river does not stop. Residents of Asha say this has not happened for decades. Let's move to Spain. In the province of Málaga, the Guadalmedina River decided to show its temper. After heavy rains, it burst its banks and flooded the town of Campanillas. The streets turned into canals, cars were carried away by the current, and water rushed into houses on the first floors. Residents filmed how the streams carried garbage, furniture, and even bicycles. Schools are closed, people are evacuated, and rescuers patrol the streets in boats. This is not just rain, this is a real water invasion. A tragedy has occurred in China that will make your blood run cold. On one of the busy highways, a part of the road suddenly collapsed. Huge chunks of earth and concrete fell on cars, burying 5 people under them. Rescuers are still clearing the rubble using heavy equipment, but the chances of finding survivors are almost zero. The video from the scene is like something out of a horror movie. Mangled cars and the screams of eyewitnesses. The authorities say they are investigating whether there were any violations during construction. China is mourning. The Swiss Alps have become the scene of another drama. A small plane crashed among snow-capped peaks. 3 people on board did not survive. The wreckage is scattered across the slopes and rescuers are trying to reach the site in helicopters. What happened? The weather? Pilot error? It is still a mystery. Locals say they heard a loud bang before the crash. Drone footage is already online, and it is chilling. Now Australia. The country's beaches are covered in strange white foam, as if someone poured tons of bath foam. But it's not funny. Thousands of fish are dying after being washed up on the shore, and more than 100 surfers are already in hospitals with rashes, nausea, and dizziness. Scientists are at a loss. Is this a natural phenomenon like algae, or did something toxic get into the water? People are filming videos of foam reaching their knees, and authorities are closing beaches. It's like a sci-fi thriller in real life. In Artesia, New Mexico, nature has created a dust apocalypse. The sandstorm hit with such force that the sky turned orange and visibility dropped to a couple of meters. The wind tore off roofs, broke trees, and sand clogged all the cracks. Cars stopped on the highways, people hid in houses, and those who dared to go out filmed videos like from Mad Max. The storm lasted for several hours, and now the city is digging itself out of the sand. It's scary and beautiful at the same time. Indonesia, in the eye of the storm. A tornado swept through the city of Anjatan on Java like a hurricane of doom. Houses were destroyed, cars were overturned, trees were torn out by the roots. People ran in panic, saving children and pets. The video from there is like a scene from a blockbuster. A black whirlwind sweeps away everything in its path. Rescuers are sorting through the rubble, and residents are trying to figure out how to live on after such a blow. And again, Indonesia. An earthquake with a magnitude of 5.5 shook the country. The epicenter was not far from densely populated areas, and 1 person died under a collapsed building. Dozens of houses were damaged. People ran out into the streets in fear. Rescuers are looking for those who could have remained under the rubble. Footage of the shaking earth is already online, and this reminds us how fragile our world is. There is trouble in Russia. A military Mi-28 helicopter crashed in Leningrad Oblast. The crew, 2 people, died on the spot. The wreckage is scattered in the forest and black smoke could be seen for kilometers. What happened? Technical malfunction or human error? The Ministry of Defense is silent, but the investigation is already underway. Eyewitnesses say that they heard a strange hum before the crash. A terrible tragedy. And now a little beauty. Northeast Spain is now like a scene from a fairy tale. Thousands of fruit trees, apple, pear, peach, have blossomed at the same time. The air is filled with the aroma of flowers, the fields are covered with white and pink petals. Tourists and locals film this beauty on cameras, and the bees hum like an orchestra. This is a reminder that nature can not only destroy, but also delight. A holiday in Iran turned into a nightmare. Something went wrong during a mass event. More than 1,000 people ended up in hospitals. Some died. Stampede? Poisoning? Explosion? The details are still unclear. The authorities are silent, and rumors are multiplying. Videos from the scene show chaos. People are screaming, running. Doctors cannot cope with the influx. This is one of the darkest pages in the history of Iranian holidays. Indonesia is back in the spotlight. A powerful tornado has swept through the island of Batam. It emerged from the sea and flew onto the land, destroying everything in its path. Fishing boats were wrecked, houses were damaged, and people were in shock. Eyewitnesses filmed the black whirlwind dancing over the island, leaving destruction in its wake. Rescuers are already there, but the scale of the disaster has yet to be assessed. A fire is raging in Sheki, Azerbaijan. The fire broke out suddenly and quickly engulfed a huge area. Smoke is rising in a column, visible for tens of kilometers. Firefighters have thrown all their forces into the fight, but the wind is spreading the flames. Residents are evacuating, and those who remain are filming videos. Red tongues of fire are devouring everything around. This is a battle with the elements in real time. In the Yaroslavl region, the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations showed its class. Several people fell through the ice on the river, and rescuers responded with lightning speed. They pulled everyone out alive in boats and with ropes. The operation lasted less than an hour, but the tension was like in an action movie. Video from the scene is already online. The heroes in orange vests are real guardian angels. The south of Spain is drowning. The rains are so heavy that the rivers have overflowed their banks and the streets have turned into waterways. In Málaga and other cities, schools are closed, children are being evacuated, and adults are saving property. The water is knee-deep, cars are floating, and rescuers are working non-stop. This is not just a downpour, it is water chaos. Good news from Asha. The forest fire in Tunkinsky National Park has finally been brought under control. The fire raged for several days, threatening the unique nature, but firefighters stopped it. Smoke still hangs over the taiga, but the threat has passed. Drone videos show the burnt areas and the heroic work of the teams. Nature is saved. And finally, space! Crew Dragon with astronauts on board returned to Earth. The capsules splashed down softly off the coast of Florida, and the crew is in perfect condition. After months in orbit, they are breathing earthly air again. NASA broadcast the moment live. Parachutes open, waves splash, and rescue boats are already nearby. This is a triumph of science and the human spirit. This is the kind of day we have today, friends. From snowstorms to blooming gardens, from tragedies to rescue missions. If you liked it, like, subscribe, and click the bell. There are even more stories ahead. See you in the next video.